Don't forget where you came from, and make sure that every night you go to bed, you go, hey, I really are putting in a hard day's work, because I think running a company is hard, but there's a lot of things that are hard, and owning a business is hard. Being an employee is hard. So I think if you go and do your best you can every day, then you know you're giving it your best, and that's really all you can really do. I have owned a business now for 15 years. Before I was a business owner, I did a lot of small jobs. I didn't go to college. I come from a family of manual laborers, so I just kind of followed in those footsteps. So my dad, he actually is an old cowboy, so he worked on a farm. He was a farmhand. My mom, oddly enough, was a radio DJ, worked in a small town in Mississippi. And when I was 4 or 5, we moved to North Alabama, where I actually ran my first company. One of the contributors to our success over 15 years has been our clients. And we've done a really great job of choosing clients to partner with and represent that we knew that was going to not just be here and now, but something that was going to last through all kinds of things that our economy's gone through. AT&T being one of our biggest brands. No matter if the economy's good or if the economy's bad, people are going to need better internet, people are going to need the newest phones, people are going to need to keep in touch with people. It's been a great client. Biggest mistake that I've maybe learned to avoid is not standing still and being able to change with the times. You know, everything's going to change, and you have to move when different things in the economy changes. You have to be open to new ideas. You have to surround yourself with really good people, so that way, even though I own the company, my decisions don't always are the best ones. So if I surround myself with great people, then we're doing the right things. And I think just pouring into people. Our company tagline is making a difference, not just a living. So we really try to just make a difference and see what happens. Running a company is hard, but there's a lot of things that are hard, and owning a business is hard. Being an employee is hard. So I think if you go and do your best you can every day, then you know you're giving it your best, and that's really all you can really do. I think that fear stops a lot of people, and I would tell them to kind of work it out in a positive light. I think a lot of people sometimes play the story in such a negative light. If this goes wrong, or if that goes wrong, if that goes wrong, then this is going to happen and that's going to be bad. If they just play the story with positive, if this goes right and this goes right, then it's going to be the best thing that ever happened to me. So I just think that if they would just play the story in a very positive forward manner than a negative, they do well. And then really what's the big risk? I mean, at the end of the day, you know, the worst thing that's going to happen is, you know, it didn't go well. And then you got the whole rest of your life to probably figure out what else you want to do. Or for my case, when I thought about opening a business and I was doing manual labor jobs, I'm like, if the business doesn't go well, it's not like they stop needing manual laborers. I can always go back and do whatever I was doing. They'll always need me to do that job. So I might as well give it a shot and see if it's good. And luckily it was, and here we are 15 years later. Part of the appreciation of what we do is because of trusting and building a great relationship with our brokerage company. They were able to offer us and extend us some contracts with some of the top tier clients that I would have no business hanging out with, and some top tier names. And I think that at the end of the day, that appreciation that someone was willing to trust me with that was really important. So when people always ask me like, what book did you read? I used to tell them, I can't suggest a really great book, but everything you need to learn in life is in Rocky 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you'll just watch the 4 Rocky movies, you'll figure out life and great responsibilities and some good life lessons, and you'll be ready to rock and roll. Today, I have done more audibles, and I would probably say my favorite audible recently is Relentless and John Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Those are 2 of my favorites. I was always really good at just connecting with people. I think if you ask my wife what my most greatest skill of all is, being able to take so many pieces of luggage and pack it into a car without, you know, losing any space. That would probably say was my favorite skill. I'm very good at Tetris. The thing I pride myself on, I really feel like, and I've learned this through the years of working with different companies and clients, and is that I can just really adapt in any situation. And I think that's just a cool skill to have. If you put me in a business boardroom, or if you put me on a farm, I'm comfortable everywhere. If you put me on the golf course or at a black tie event, I'm able to use conversation skills that I've learned over the years just to be able to really mesh well with lots of different graphics of people. It's funny about the internet, and I wish when people decided to, you know, say something on the internet or write a review or do something, like, they really took a time to really see the whole scope of things. And the one thing about the internet, anybody can put whatever they want on there. And it doesn't matter if it has to be factual or not. So I think that if people really took time and effort to get to know me as a human, me as a person, and they go, wow, this is a person that has a family, someone who's gave to the community, someone who has faith, goes to church, does well for others, gives his shirt off his back, they'll be like, man, it's not the person I thought it was. You got to be a little bit different to set yourself apart from everybody else. And look, doesn't mean that the different is for everybody. I think writing negative reviews about something doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I have a really favorite restaurant that I go to, and it pains me sometimes seeing when people are like, oh man, this restaurant is terrible, I would never go there. And I'm like, they had a bad night. Why are you going to judge one person on one service? It just never really made a lot of sense to me on that. So I think a lot of people judge a book by its cover. I think a lot of people are hurt sometimes by other things that seem familiar, and they're like, if I got hurt by this, then this is the same thing. And they never really took time and effort to get to know the people that are part of that company.